young lady, Ward. Doesn't sound like a lovely young lady to me.
You don't find those lovely qualities in a young woman? You don't like a little violence, mystery?
This following
I don't want to know about your perversion.
You're the one wearing leather and spikes.
classic. Scheduled for
Fair enough,
one
touche.
fall.
Now we go up to this idiot.
Introducing first.
Look at him. At least he has shoes on. That's because of me, you know. NYWC commissioner. And you see the disrespect when I came out there earlier? It doesn't even say Mr. Entertainment Space Cowboy. The man is just not doing a great job. He's a moron.
You know, Dirty Moore, typically a competitor, he is stepping in as an announcer here tonight. He's doing his best with it.
But I guess it wasn't good.
Olympus Greece. He is the Greek god, Papadon.
Papadon looks more like Papa Smurf here tonight with this outfit on. Look at him.
NYWC mainstay, Papadon, the Greek god. You know this man well, Brian.
I thought I did. I'm not so sure anymore. This is not the Papadon I know right now. He's looking for fan approval. He wants to be liked. He thinks he's this, you know.
He's turned a
What
new
a
leaf.
disappointment. He's what?
Turned a new leaf.
Wow. I don't believe a word he says. I know who he is. He wants to pretend to be a nice guy. He is not a nice guy.
Speaking of nice guys,
One of the nicest.
This is Dan Barry.
everybody's favorite wrestler, Dan Barry, just inducted into the NYWC Hall of Fame this afternoon.
I hope Dan Barry just comes out and punches Papadon right in the mouth. Especially after Papadon's induction speech to John Shane. I'll have words with Papadon later. And I have words about John Shane, too, after what they both had to say. How dare
This
them.
would not be the John Shane Classic if not for the man himself. Bring him out, the sure thing, John Shane!
You know, I've managed Papadon for a long time. He was part of Planet Entertainment. He begged me to be a part of Planet Entertainment. I agreed to let him in, and then he's going to come out here and this fossil, John Shane, induct him and say he's the greatest manager of all time. Well, you know what? That's how you know Papadon is a liar, because Mr. E is the best.
2025 NYWC Hall of Famer, the short thing, John Shane!
Shut up, Dirty. I was talking right now. He is not the greatest manager in the history of the NYWE, the NYWC. It's Mr. Entertainment, the Space Cowboy, Brian Vitko, and everybody knows that. And how dare John Shane says, oh, next year, Prince Charles should go in the Hall of Fame. I'll tell you right now, if that's the case, Mr. Entertainment shuts this Hall of Fame down immediately.
To your credit, Mr. Entertainment, and I can tell that you are feeling a little bit testy right now. Your client did get a win tonight. Cade Lothbrock picking up a win in the semifinals of the Crusher Dugan Cup, but he's got one more match still to go.
Well, he does, but let's be honest, he just beat two men. Because that was a handicap match. I know Mistretta was a little reluctant to work with Man Bun Jesus, but however, overall, that was a handicap match. Stockade, or Cade Lothbrock, I should say. He went through both of them. And later on tonight, we're going to see who comes out on top between our next semifinal match, which will be A1G, which will be Jorge La Bestia, and big mouth, big time trash, big time garbage, big time loser. I could keep going, Ward, all night long. Big time Tony Burma, a guy, again, another guy I know a lot about because at one time he was in Planet Entertainment as well.
And another NYWC Hall of Fame inductee today, alongside Dan Barry, who's been showing his technical acumen against Papadon. Papadon does seem to be playing nice, as you alluded to.
Yeah, because he's a phony. He doesn't play nice. He doesn't care about any of these people. Look at him, Opa. Punch him in the mouth, Dan Barry.
Two legends of the NYWC, Barry and Papadon, locked up. Papadon goes for the arm.
Well, only one in the Hall of Fame, however.
Papadon, I'm sure will get in there.
Oh, I hope
soon. Manage the man.
What does that mean? I don't anymore. I wouldn't even return his phone call if he paid me to return it. Look at him.
Antisocial.
It's not antisocial. It's called being a smart man.
Papadon blocking the hip toss. Goes for one of his own. Barry with the arm drag. I think once upon a time, John would have foregone these arm drags and just punched Dan Barry in the mouth.
That is true. Both went for had the same idea.
Evenly matched, Papadon and Dan Barry. Dan Barry, we're celebrating him today. He debuted in 2002, trained by Mikey Whipwreck here at NYWC. Barry himself has gone on to train many of today's great wrestlers, including Trent Beretta and Matt Cardona. He is a former NYWC Fusion champion, former NYWC Hi-Fi champion, and a 2-time tag team champion with his partner Ken Scambian. Tremendous.
Very true. But I also remember Dan Barry when he was a Canadian and a kamikaze, because that was his first name that he was given. And he was called the Canadian kamikaze because somebody thought, well, I guess he could pass as a Canadian and he flies a lot, so why not?
The proud Irishman was once a Canadian?
He was once a Canadian, believe it or not.
That looked like he might fly again.
Oh, there you go. Nice, Dan. Do it again.
Hard kick by Dan Barry. He can fly with the best of them. Maybe perhaps today better known for his technical acumen, but I can remember being a young wrestling fan alongside my brother trying to find footage of that Irish car bomb that he so legendarily pulled off. Oh, went for the senton. Papadon moves.
I saw John Shane just a minute ago standing in the corner. I was going to say he should sit his ass down.
Big European uppercut off the second rope by Papadon. Goes for the cover. 2 count. Almost a 3.
John Shane classic. Please.
Just because one man is succeeding, that's not a...
What does that mean? One man is... Who's succeeding?
John Shane, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Please.
Why do you begrudge another man his happiness, Mr. Entertainment?
Because I don't begrudge it. It's great for him. He deserves it. I'll give him that. But you know what? His speech left a lot to be desired.
Because he didn't mention it.
That's exactly right.
And you consider the man a mentor.
I consider him a menace. I think he's an idiot. And clearly he's senile if he doesn't mention the Space Cowboy, Mr. Entertainment, in his speech. He should have thanked me first.
Papadon cuts off Barry with a knee, going for that back suplex. Drives him into the mat.
Come on, Dan. Get up.
Cover by Papadon.
Knee him in the face.
Papadon in phenomenal shape for 48 years old.
Looks good for 60.
I'm sure at 60 he will look fantastic. He keeps himself in tip-top shape. He's been experimenting with the carnivore diet. Papadon.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him experiment with the carnivore diet. Good for him.
All meat.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Papadon is himself an NYWC Grand Slam champion, having won the Interstate Fusion Tag Team and Heavyweight Championships. Settling into the rear chin lock.
If I was a betting man, and I am, Ward, I guarantee you, and I bet my bottom dollar, Papadon never sees NYWC gold ever again.
John Shane getting the crowd riled up for his man, Papadon.
Look at this.
Big chop from Dan Barry.
You better sit down, old man. You're going to get hurt.
Going back and forth with the chops, now the forearms.
He just can't help himself. Our audience at home can see it right now. John Shane just meandering around the ring. I think he's lost.
European uppercuts.
There you go, Dan.
Papadon looking a little woozy. Barry hooks him. Back suplex.
Beautifully done.
Papadon is reeling.
That's what I like to see. Come on, Dan. Get up. End this.
The referee starting his count in the John Shane Classic. Who will come out on top?
Dan Barry. I predict.
It would be, a nice thing for Dan Barry to pick up a win on the day of his Hall of Fame induction.
There you go. Caught him with the clothesline. Back elbow. Beautiful clothesline. Not as good as Stockade or Kate Lothbrock's Lariat, but Papadon loves those leg kicks.
Those patented kicks. Oh! Papadon, he's been trying to do the nice guy thing, but he can't help but tell the crowd to shut up when they're not in his corner.
See, he can't help himself. I'm telling you, he is not a nice guy. That's the Papadon that I've known for over 20 years. He's an idiot.
Dives outside the ring, drives Dan Barry into the... Dan Barry is such a good man. Even when he's being driven into the barricade, he's looking out for the children. Get out of the way, children, he says.
It turns the favor right there is Dan Barry.
Papadon got a big win at Psycho Circus against Dan Moff. He wrestled in the first match at Mulcahy's history against Robbie Rebel, who we'll see later in the evening, and the fans were on his side. Now they're on Dan's side, and I don't know if he's dealing with that too well.
No, he's not.
Cover.
Because he's an egomaniac. Oh, look at that.
Papadon barely grabs the rope.
Just desperation on the part of GGP. What's he doing? I thought he was pulling something out of his tights. I wouldn't put that past him for a second.
Everything has remained in Papadon's tights thus far. Dan Barry with a strike to the gut, another chop.
Dan, you got to hit him harder than that.
We're heading into the deep waters here. Who has enough left in their tank to pull the win out in the John Shane Classic?
Both men extremely tired right now. Papadon.
Sunset flip. Ooh, he just got those arms hooked at the last second. I thought that might have been it. Dan Barry reverses. Papadon reverses. These men are going back and forth.
Dan should have pulled the tights.
Oklahoma roll. Cover. Small package.
That could be it. Exactly. I agree with one of our audience members who said, come on, ref.
Pissed off Papadon going for the Mahi Straw cradle.
That's
Dan
it,
hooks
that's
him.
it.
Got him!
I'm going to stand up for
the John Shane Classic.